Welcome back to another episode on the Aaron Doughty podcast. My name is Aaron Doughty, and today we're going to be going and looking at the cure to nice guys, people pleasing, understanding the root of why that is there, and I'm going to give you the cure. Stay to the end of this episode because it's going to give you the cure to this whole entire process of how not to be a nice guy, how not to be a people pleaser anymore, and how to do it in an authentic way. And a lot of this has to do with understanding the shadow work. When you start to do the shadow work, it really changes your life in a very powerful way. And a lot of it has to do with understanding more about yourself. You know, I'm going to be sharing things with my own life, sharing some things in a buddy of mine life who's going through this and not being the nice guy anymore. And my dad, show why he is the way he is, because my dad's definitely like a very nice guy. And as you become aware of all these different shadow aspects and you become aware of it, you find that then you integrate that shadow. It becomes very powerful for you. So this is something that I've been doing a lot this last year, is becoming aware of the masculine feminine polarity within myself to heal it. If you did not know already as well, there is something that I have that will show you step by step how to do the shadow work, how to go within yourself, how to heal the pain of the past, and also how to be in a higher vibrational state. And a lot of this has to do with accountability and doing and being in this like new way of being. So I have something called the 21-day Raise Your Vibration Challenge. It's 21 days to a new vibrational you. Every day you get a video showing you the biggest hacks and tips I have for changing your sense of identity. And I show you step by step how to change it. And there's accountability where you then do the activity and post it in the Facebook group. There's a community aspect to it as well. This helps you change your sense of identity. And there are parts in there that has to do with the story you tell yourself about who you are, your sense of identity. It's one of the most powerful things I've ever made. I've got more testimonials from this than any other thing that I've done. If you go right now to aarondoughty.com/challenge, CHALLENGE. That's AARONDOUGHTY.com/challenge. You can join the 21-day challenge. There's really cool bonuses in there as well. You get access to the meditation vault, some other things as well. But it's 21 days to a new vibrational you. It's open for enrollment right now. If you're hearing this, you just go to aarondoughty.com/challenge. Join it. It will help you in this process as well with developing boundaries, becoming aware of those stories, healing the pain of the past. And I'm excited to share that with you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this episode right meow. Welcome back to another episode on the Aaron Doughty podcast. My name is Aaron, and I'm back in Vegas now. I just got back yesterday, and it feels good to be back. I go back and forth between Vegas and Sedona. Sedona's got the very yin energy. Here's got very yang energy, so I'm able to get a lot of stuff done as I can film this podcast. It's very easy for me to film, which is really cool. And, yeah, it's so nice. I actually do like going back and forth. Originally, I was like, oh, I have this house in Vegas if I could just be in Sedona all the time. But I've come to learn that I love having contrast. The original goal, though, is to eventually have a place that's both in Sedona and then one that's on the beach as well. If I had like a place in Miami, I think Miami is what I'm thinking of. A place on the beach would be like really cool as well. So it's like the beach and the desert. And I'll be happy, man. I'm happy regardless because it's like life is very special and fun. But that'd be even more dope, you know? So anyways, this episode is all about understanding why you may be a people pleaser, why you may be a nice guy, and then how to do the different shadow work to cure it. In this episode, I want to show you how to cure nice guy syndrome and how to cure that of people pleaser syndrome, and understanding that a lot of this came from childhood wounds. So grab your kombucha, sit down, and get ready for an epic episode. Yay! Okay, so first off, many of you know, I've talked about this before, but like in my own life in general, I've had and been a nice guy before. There was a time when, if I was dating someone, all I wanted to do was to make them happy. I'd buy them things. I'd do nice things. And I would think, oh, this will get result. That's one of the things with nice guys. Nice guys think that when you are giving or are doing things for other people, that's what gives you value, meaning, and a sense of worthiness. So what do you want to go do? Let's go do that. Whatever you want, you little princess. And the problem with that is that people are not sexually attracted to a nice guy. A nice guy looks really great on paper. It's like you ask any, and I know I use some of the terms feminine, masculine, woman, man. Use it whatever sexual orientation. You can apply it towards anything. There's always masculine, feminine energies in every relationship. That's what creates sexual polarity. But the thing with a nice guy is a nice guy will kill sexual polarity. I learned this like 3 or 4 years ago. I was really starting to dive into this. And this last year or two, it's been amazing because the more I let go of this whole thing, the easier it is for me to just be authentic. Because that's the other thing. Nice guys and people pleasers aren't being authentic. Like if somebody wants to say no to somebody that wants to hang out with them, say, hey, come to my house. And you're like, I don't really want to, but if I say something, maybe they're going to get on me or tell me I'm a bad friend or I won't feel validated. So I'm not, okay, I'll just do it. I'll just do what they want. That's not authentic. What do you really want to do? The nice guy may say, this is the way, let's go do, where do you want to go eat? Oh, you want to eat here? Yeah, that sounds great. I love it there too. Even though that person may not actually really like it. So then the thing is that kills sexual attraction because in respect, if we look at it from the point of people pleasers, people lose respect for people that don't respect themselves. And at the same time, nice guys aren't respected or people aren't sexually attracted to nice guys because nice guys have no boundaries. Nice guys aren't actually being themselves. They're being the idea of what they want to be. Now, imagine it like if you're listening to this as a nice guy right now, imagine that you go out with someone and this person's like, whatever you want to do, we're going to do it. And you're like, oh, okay. He's like, you want me to massage your back right now? I'll massage your back right now for you. You want me to do it? You're like, okay, yeah, I'll let you massage my back if you want to. Oh, you want to, whatever you want to go, I just do whatever. I'll do whatever. And you would eventually be like, it literally lowers the value. You would then see this person like, I just met you and you're going to do all of this stuff for me? Like, it sends a signal that says that you must not feel worthy. Maybe you have some type of childhood wound you're dealing with or something. And because of that, it makes you feel differently. It's just not attractive. It's also not attractive. Tension is what creates attraction. Tension. But that some people call that, polarity, sexual polarity. But tension is when a guy, like sometimes a guy will tease the person they're with. Tease them. They can tease them because even if they tease them, if the other one rejects them, they're okay because they're just having fun. That teasing, though, creates tension. The nice guy doesn't tease. The nice guy doesn't tell. The nice guy's afraid to be a certain way because of being afraid of rejection. So one of the key points of this is looking at a nice guy and looking at a people pleaser. It's becoming aware that what you think of as a nice guy or a people pleaser that you think is getting you results is not actually really getting you results. And it's funny. I use my dad as a good example. I love my dad to death, but my dad's definitely the epitome of a nice guy. Super, super nice. Will do anything for anyone. He's an amazing dad, but I think there are many, he's got 4 kids. I think he does too much. And because he does too much, it almost sends a signal to some of his kids that it's like, I think they don't appreciate him. I appreciate him, but the other ones I don't think do. I understand him, though. I understand why he is the way he is. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to use my dad as an example through this whole episode so you can see the shadow work and see why he is the way he is. And then just the pain of that. So normally what the nice guy would think is, oh, if I do these nice things for you, then you're going to respect me more. Then you're going to like me more. And I look at my dad, for example, and one thing is like, I could tell my dad in some ways has thought that in the past, especially with my ex-stepmom. And many of you know I had an ex-stepmom in my life from 7 to 16 years, when I was 7, for about, almost 10 years, 9 years? 7 to 16 years old, I had my ex-stepmom in my life. Well, that's interesting. 9 years is like one numerology cycle, 1 through 9, right? And in that period of time, my dad, I've seen my dad get walked on by my ex-stepmom. Also, my ex-stepmom walked on my brother and I. And there was an energy dynamic there that was very obvious. I think what my dad was learning, a lot of times people pleasers they may attract narcissists. It's the opposite. Narcissists are people that are extremely selfish, will gaslight you, drain your energy. But there's actually something to be learned from narcissists. That's why a people pleaser attracts to the narcissist, I think. Because no one else would say yes to a narcissist. Like no one, if somebody has boundaries, they're like, no, I will not adhere to that frame. I do not deserve to be treated like this. And they would just say no to the narcissist. But people pleasers, they don't have a no. They don't have a way of saying no, and their sense of self-worth and value is based on the approval of the narcissist, which means it's this never-ending cycle where the narcissist will take whatever they can get, and the people pleaser will just give it. So I think the lesson in there for my dad was to learn how to gain boundaries, to learn how to stand up for himself and to stand up for other people. And I think that reinforced his nice guyness, but I could just tell it was beating him down. And that's one thing I think I've learned is hey, nice guy does not get you results. The nice guy think it does. Even my dad, I can tell sometimes he's oh, I'm going to do this for the kids and do this and do that. But I can tell that the place that it's coming from is actually causing one or two of his kids to view him and not respect him as much, to almost take it for granted. So one of the biggest things is to understand that what the nice guy or the people pleaser is doing is it's activating a safety mechanism system that's been activated since a very young age. You see, when we're kids, we are little narcissists. When we're kids, everything's about us. Some people, though, some narcissists, they never grow out of that phase. I look at my ex-stepmom, and she's like a little bully that never grew up. But this is what happens with the people pleaser mentality and people growing up that are nice guys or people pleasers. Growing up, something happened, and when something happened, there was a meaning that was given to that something happening that then caused somebody to view themselves in a certain way. Now, there's two main things I noticed with nice guys and people pleasers of patterns that they had growing up that attributed them to being the way that they are now. The first one is parent pleasing. So people pleasing, think of it in the form of parent pleasing. If you are a people pleaser, you may have had to please a parent growing up because they may have withheld their love from you unless you did what they wanted you to do, acted a certain way, got good grades, whatever it was. And you then started to associate, because as kids, you want your parents' love. You want love in your environment growing up. The problem and the challenge is that the way your parents may have domesticated you, that's the way the Don Miguel Ruiz books would have said it. It's called domestication. You would have been domesticated because in order to gain that love, you had to please them. You had to gain their approval. You had to get good grades. You had to do your chores. You had to act a certain way. You had to be seen and not heard. You had to abide by the rules. So many times, nice guys and people pleasers come from having a parent that wanted you to be in a certain way, or they withhold their love from you. I have a buddy of mine that's struggling, and he's now in the process of not being a nice guy anymore. He realizes that with his girlfriend is walking all over him, treating him a certain way, and it's not really fair. He's starting to realize that he had some childhood stuff growing up that attributed to him being a really nice guy. He's starting to see as well, the nice guy just doesn't get good results. It doesn't actually work. What the nice guy thinks works of being nice to somebody is 1, inauthentic, 2, it's seeking validation, 3, it lowers value. But what the nice guy is then realizing is, hey, this doesn't actually get the results I think it does. The women don't respect me. They're not sexually attracted. They're just kind of using me because I'm willing to give all of this. And they realize, hey, I want to change. I look at my friend's past, though. It's funny. My friend had a kind of a similar past in some ways to me. His dad is a firefighter. My dad's a firefighter. And a lot of times firefighters, as a parent, I think that there's a certain way you're supposed to. I had to comb my hair to the side growing up. I had to tuck in my shirt. And I think that kind of went into I need to be a certain way in order to be loved, in order to gain that approval. And I look at my friend, and he had a similar type dad. Now, parent pleasing his dad was very strict. His dad would get mad at him, and yeah, I know all growing up, because I grew up with this guy. I know all growing up that he most likely has had to be a certain way to receive his mom and dad's love growing up. So what that does on the shadow aspect is it makes him believe that in order to be loved, he has to be nice. And any tension he had growing up was probably negative tension. So it was probably his dad mad at him, his mom mad at him in trouble. And there was resistance in the family. And as a kid, the safety mechanism that turns on, it's like, there's tension here, this feels uncomfortable, what can I do to not receive this tension anymore? Well, if I'm really nice and I please you all the time, you're never going to feel that negative tension. And I won't feel like, I'm going to lose you. I'm going to lose your love. And if you feel like you're losing the love of one of your parents, that's like everything. So there's this pattern that he has where he's seeking and trying to mitigate that tension, the negative tension that came when he was in trouble growing up from trying to people please or parent please, and it wasn't good enough. Now he'll do anything he can as a safety mechanism to get rid of that tension. And the problem is that tension is necessary for sexual attraction. Not necessarily negative tension, but tension. Think about any movie you've ever seen. What made it a great movie? Most likely there was some type of tension in there. What's going to happen? What's going to happen at the end of this movie? If it's predictable, it's not a good movie. If you watch a basketball game and one team is blowing out the other team by 50 points, it's a boring game. But if the game is 1 point up, and then the other team takes the lead, and the other team takes the lead, and all the way to the end, that's an amazing game. If you're watching a UFC fight, I watched a UFC fight a couple weeks ago, and one guy blew out the other guy. All this hype. It was like if there was a fight, like the guy knocks him out in one punch. It's a boring fight. But if there's tension, it goes back and forth, you consider that a good fight, right? In the same way, when it comes to sexual attraction, tension is what keeps the feminine feeling safe. Tension. Now, why tension? Tension communicates, I am worthy, I do what I want, I'm the star of my own movie, and you can feel safe in my masculine presence. See, a nice guy will try to mitigate that tension. Ooh, I'd do anything for you to like me. And the problem with this is that it kills attraction. Tension is somebody that's teasing. The nice guy's afraid to tease because what if I get rejected? Touching being touchy-feely. Oh, don't be touchy-feely. Like, oh, what if you get rejected? Just play it safe. Telling someone what you think or telling someone what to do. Not in a narcissistic way. Remember, this is the balance. This is about, you don't have to worry about the nice guy or the people pleaser becoming a narcissist. It's not going to happen. But a little bit of that mentality of starting to do things for you will go a long way when it comes to sexual attraction and when it comes to you saying yes to yourself. So when I looked at my buddy and a thing I had to tell my buddy to do, for example, my buddy loves playing hockey. Really, he's a great hockey player. Here in Vegas, there's like hockey rings and stuff. And with his girlfriend, what he realized he was doing is he stopped playing hockey to be around his girlfriend more. And I told him, I said, dude, you got to go start playing hockey again. You don't have to do anything, but why did you stop playing hockey? You love hockey. You're a great hockey player. Go play freaking hockey. He's like, yeah, you're right. You got to start being the star of your own movie. And the thing, like, honestly, what I was telling him to do, he didn't want to hear what I was telling him to do. I felt like with the girl that he was with, I felt like the girl he was with just doesn't respect him anymore. So I told him, dude, I think you should break up with her. This is what I think you should do. Because she didn't respect him. Like, she literally was like going out on dates. I don't know if they were dates, but she was like going out, hanging out with her like ex-boyfriend all the time. And he communicated. He's like, I'm not cool with this. And she would still go do it. I'm like, dude, she's not respecting you. You should like pull back and be like, dude, I'm not doing, like, this isn't okay with me. But see, the nice guy normally doesn't have boundaries. It's hard for them to put what they think is cool and not cool. It wasn't cool with him. So that's like, there's no technique to not becoming a nice guy or a people pleaser. There's no technique. If it's a technique, it's not a change, not a permanent change. It needs to be a change in identity. How do you view yourself? The energy of especially somebody that's tapping into their masculinity needs to be, I'm going to be I told him, I was like, dude, if you want to go out with your friends, you need to like choose your friends. Not saying that selfishly because it's like, oh, come hang out with me. But like, go, like, if you have friends going out to eat and you're like, well, I said I was going to, like, maybe I was going to go hang out with her. I was thinking, but they want to go out to, like, go eat this food. Choose to do what the hell you want to do, instead of doing exactly what you think. Because what you think that's going to get you attraction by being around them all the time, by always showing them your valid, like seeking their validation, being nice to them and mitigating tension, that you think works, but it doesn't work. Go and be on your own mission. And a people pleaser needs to hear this too. Be selfish. Be a little selfish. Do what you want to do. If your friends say, hey, come hang out, blah, 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 you would normally say, I don't really want to do that, but I can't say no, because saying no creates tension. And I had that parent pleasing thing growing up. And it's like, if I say no, then I'm not going to be like loved. When in actuality, if you were to say no, people may start respecting you more because you're doing what you want to do. People would value your time more. When you value your time, when you value yourself, then other people can value you more because you're demonstrating that value. A nice guy is not demonstrating his value. He's not even respecting his own sense of self. He's not doing what he really wants to do. He's not going to play hockey or go out with his friends or do all these things, because the woman, the feminine has now become the primary focus. And as a people pleaser, if even a woman listening to this or a feminine energy listening to this, it's just in general. What I'm saying is, and you would know if you're listening to this as a feminine energy, you would know that in the masculine, you do not feel safe if they are doing everything to please you. You wouldn't feel safe because it's also demonstrating that they are not, that they have to do things to be worthy to you, which demonstrates to them that has low value. And you don't feel safe with that, to be honest. But as a people pleaser, it's about becoming aware of this and starting to realize, where is this people pleasing rooted from? Where is the nice guy rooted from? It is rooted from one main story. That story is rooted in I am not worthy the way that I am. And maybe this came from growing up, from people pleasing. They were a parent pleaser. They had to be a certain way to gain the love of their parents. And because of that, it causes them even though it's not about their parents, it's about their significant other, the person they want to be in a relationship with or dating, and they're trying to please that person. But it's coming for the energy that it comes from is a sense of, if I do this, then you will give me. You see, that's like the biggest, it's inauthentic. Then you'll give me love. Then you'll give me appreciation. Versus doing something because you want to do it, because there's no strings attached. You see, it's a very different energy. One thing I did last night, it's going to sound, I wasn't going to share this. It's kind of random, I know. But I have an ex-girlfriend from like 5-6 years ago, from a long time ago. And when we broke up, she went back to California, and I stayed here in Vegas. And when we broke up, there was some of the furniture was here, and it was kind of a thing where we had to figure out like what to do, because to ship the furniture was expensive. What we ended up doing is I ended up keeping this Sony TV that her dad got her for her graduation. And she's like, here, you keep this, and I let her keep part of the security deposit or something like that. Like, there was some deal that we worked out, but I think the deal kind of favored me. At least that's what I kind of felt. It kind of favored me because I also got a laptop out of it. And it wasn't it, but it was like whatever, it was like back in the day. And we kind of course, we kind of lost contact. I still have this TV though, and I wanted to, after a couple of years, my goal was I want to send this TV back to her, because the TV was from her dad, and I felt like that was the right thing to do. But to ship it would have been a couple $100 anyways. So last night, what I realized a while ago, because I'm friends with her brother on Instagram, is that she was pregnant and had a baby, or was pregnant and about to have a baby. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Something last night made me for some reason, I got in Venmo. I was like, I wonder if she has a Venmo. I typed in her name on Venmo, and she did have a Venmo, and it was her picture, so I knew it was her. So I said, I'm just going to send her $500 and write it off, kind of like $500, and to kind of make up for it, because it was like a present her dad gave her, and I just felt right about it. I just wanted to do that, so send her $500. I wasn't doing and sending that $500 to be, even in the message, I said, hey, I'm doing this for me, so I could feel good about this. Here's $500. Looks like congrats on your baby or something like that. But I was not doing it to be nice. I was doing it for myself. You see, there's a different energy. The nice guy will do something to get some type of validation or get some type of approval. I didn't care if she texted me. I didn't even care if she acknowledged me. I could give two shits if she even like said thank you. I was doing it for me. I was doing it because I felt like that was the right thing to do. And I felt like, not that was karma or anything, but I felt like, that if my dad or if one of my parents gave me like a cool present and someone else had it, I don't know, that's just my perspective. So what I did is I sent her the Venmo, $500. I said, I hope all is well. I'm doing this for me. Like, hope all is well. Like that was it. It was like, and she ended up like texting me and like saying thank you. And it's like, it was like a cool way to reconnect with someone that you used to care for and be cool with. And it was just like a cool thing, like a cool, like now there's just good energy. There was good energy before, but it was kind of like the unspoken in some ways after the breakup. And it was like 6 years ago. And now she's like happily with someone and has a kid. So I think it's awesome. But you see, the nice guy would have done that for a very different reason. Would have done it to gain validation, to get a response, for them to text, for them to say something. And the thing is it's not what you do, but it's how you do it. It's the energy you do it with that's important. So you got to do, like, if you're doing it for you, it's a different story. If you're doing it with no attachment as well, it's like, oh, I'm going to give a gift to, like, the girl you're dating. Okay, are you doing it because you want them to love you more, or are you doing it because you really want to? That's the difference. The nice guy and the people pleaser will do it to get the validation, though. So the thing that's important to understand here is, why are you doing what you do? Now, and here's the other thing. So the first one is parent pleasing, that people have the safety mechanism in place where then they're going to try to please their lover or please someone else. And they think it's going to gain them attraction and get them love, but it actually does the opposite. It repels people. It repels sexual relationships. It repels dating. It repels love. Like all together, it actually does the opposite. The second thing that instead of parent pleasing would be abandonment. One of your parents abandoned you. See, as a kid, we're little narcissists, and we think everything's about us. So if your parents divorced, it was about you. That's what you think as a kid. If one of your parents leaves, it may have nothing to do with their drug addiction or this or that. It had to do because they didn't love you or you weren't good enough. That's what you think as a kid. And then what you do is you try to mitigate that tension. You try to mitigate that sense of love by then being more parent-pleasing or making someone else happy to gain their validation. So it's abandonment and parent-pleasing. Abandonment does not even have to be physical. Abandonment could be one of your parents was emotionally abandoned you. So it's something to think about. Abandonment. I look at my dad. My dad's the nicest guy in the world. His real dad was not drank a lot of alcohol and wasn't around very much. Kind of was very abandoned. I think my dad never had that masculine role model growing up. And I think he craved his dad's love, but his dad was never there. So my dad did the opposite. He was always very much there, but he's very masculine with his job, but very feminine in his personal life. I'd say he's not feminine like a woman, but well, in a way, like emotionally, it's just not like there's no boundaries there. You know what I mean? So when I look at my dad didn't have that dad figure growing up, and his mom, I think also there's that parent pleasing aspect as well with my Nana. She's amazing, but I could definitely see how that came into play. And he never had that masculine role model. So then it was like my role model growing up was somebody that, didn't have the boundaries necessarily, wasn't being completely able to say no or to be in that tension, to mitigate that tension well. So then it's like, if I felt tension when I was a nice guy maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I remember certain relationships where I was just overly extending myself. But the key to all of this, everything I'm sharing with you, is 90% of the process is becoming aware of the shadow. Become aware of the parent-pleasing mentality or the abandonment. And then to start giving yourself the love that you craved growing up. It's rooted in a sense of unworthiness and a story about yourself. If you become aware of that story, that's when you start to become free. Once they call that red pill, blue pill in the dating, like the guys becoming aware, like blue pill guys are what are considered like guys that like, oh, if I just be nice to you, like Disney movie type mentality. If I'm nice to you, then I'll gain your love and you're going to love me. What we think actually gets results doesn't. That's like blue pill. It's like the blue pill thinks, oh, this actually works. It doesn't. Red pill is when you wake up to the truth, like in the Matrix, right? The truth is you need to be on your purpose. The truth is, tension, physical and emotional tension, is what creates attraction. Doesn't need to be negative. They say that, that there's a guy named Robert Glover that has a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy, which you guys can read if you're a guy, or anybody that wants, even a woman could read that book. But there's something he talks about when it comes to, tension. The 3 T's are touch, tell, and tease. If you can start becoming aware as a man as how to be in that, or just as a masculine energy, how to be in that tension, you're going to find that then you are exuding and demonstrating a sense of value. Because even if you get rejected, you're filling up your own cup. It's okay. That's attractive. You're confident yourself. So the cure to being a nice guy and a people pleaser is actually be a little bit selfish. To start focusing on filling up your own cup, to be more authentic, because the nice guy is not authentic. The nice guy is doing something to get something else. If I'm nice to you, you're going to give me sex, or you're going to do this, you're going to do that. The people pleaser is like, hey, if I say yes to you, then you're going to give me validation, you're going to assume, you're going to treat me with respect. The key is becoming aware of this and then making a new choice about who you are, and then it's going to feel uncomfortable at first. I remember when I told my buddy, I was like, but then what you do is you start to get better results with it, and you start to realize it's authentic. Like, I realized in some of my even just past relationships, it's like, oh, we'll go eat where you want to eat, And like, I was almost thinking about them too much, whereas it's like, what the fuck, like, what do I want to eat? And then what's attractive is when you're like, oh, we're going to go do this. And having that sense of certainty, and because you're doing also what you want, that's attractive. And it's also authentic. It's both. It's authentic and attractive. So the key is being a little bit selfish, and if you're a people pleaser or a nice guy, say no sometimes. Create and be okay in that tension. And as you're okay in that tension, you're going to realize, oh, hey, it's okay here. And not only is it okay here, but actually this feels right. This feels authentic. Back in the past when I was a kid and I felt this tension, this would have been scary because then it meant I was going to lose love or lose the approval of my parent, but I don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm not 8 anymore. I'm not 3. I'm not 5. I'm not 12. I'm not 16. I'm not 21. You can let go of caring what people think and thinking that adds to your sense of validation. So the cure is to be a little bit selfish. Start doing things because you want to do it. I remember my buddy, I was telling him, okay, dude, you got to start doing things. So he started like, what did he do? Shit, I hope I didn't get this on my pants. Did I hit something? I'm bleeding. My knuckle's bleeding a little bit. I don't know why. What did I hit it on? Hope it's not on my white pants. Okay, anyways. My buddy, I told him, I was like, dude, you need to start doing things like, I don't like to tell people what to do. I'm learning how to coach people now. It's more so about asking questions. What do you think you're gaining by being this way? If you're saying yes to this, then what are you saying no to? Or you say no to this, and what are you saying yes to? With my buddy, though, I was like, dude, everything you're doing is centered around this girl, and she's not even respecting you. You need to start doing and living your own life. Be the star of your own movie. Go play hockey. Go hang out with your friends. Stop ditching friends or this or that, or because you think it's going to make her like you more. It's doing the opposite. So, also, when you're like, getting ready to go eat somewhere, stop asking her what she want. Like, stop like asking her. Like, lead. The nice guy needs to lead. People pleasers need to lead in their own life. That's going to gain attraction. Not only is it going to gain attraction, but it's going to be signaling to you that you are the star of your own movie. My buddy started doing that, and the thing is his girlfriend sees him so much as a different way that she was probably kind of shocked at first. I need to follow up with him to see how he's doing with that. But you see, it's not a technique. It's not like, oh, I'm going to text her like, hey, go do this. He told me. He's like, I told her, like, put on this sexy dress. We're going out to go eat sushi or something like that. And she goes, yeah, actually, I'm not in the mood for sushi. So it's kind of funny. But you're going to get pushback. If you're with someone especially, you're going to get a lot of pushback because you're being this new way that they're not used to. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? That's why personally I told him, I said, dude, like, it's almost like she's in too deep. He likes this girl, but he's been with her for like months and, like 6 months, and she just sees him a certain way. I just don't know if he can undo that. Maybe he can. But I would, if I were him, I'd be like, I don't know, not that I would demand respect, but I'd start respecting myself, and then it just wouldn't be okay for someone else to, I don't know, treat me a certain way or talk to me. I don't know. He's got to go on his own journey with that, but you might get initial pushback with some of this. The key, though, is to do things for you. You're not going to become a narcissist. Don't worry about it. As a people pleaser or a nice guy, you're not going to become a total narcissist. But what you need to do is take a little bit of a lesson from there and be a little more selfish. Focus on what you want to do. What's authentic for you? Where the hell do you want to go eat? How can you lead in your life? Can you be okay with tension? Can you be okay? Tension, touch, tease, tell. Be it that way. Even as a people pleaser, it's the same thing. It's rooted in a sense of unworthiness, in a story that you're not good enough already. If you change around that sense and you start to realize you are worthy, you fill up your own cup, you're going to start being attractive. People are going to respect you more. But go into the shadow work and realize why you are the way you are. 90% of all transformation is becoming aware of that pattern, and then make a new choice about who you are. Realize you're not 8 years old anymore. You're not 5 years old anymore. You're not 2 years old anymore. You are an adult, and you can make a new choice about who you are. Wire it in with a new sense of being. It will feel weird at first. You being more authoritative with yourself, leading in different areas of your life. And the more you do this, though, the more you embody this energy, the more you will get positive reference experience from it. And you'll see, hey, this actually works, and it's authentic. And then you'll choose to do it more and more. So this is the video. That's the cure to all nice guys, all people pleasers. It's understanding it, being aware of it, then learning to do things for you, and to be okay with tension, to know you're already worthy, whole, and complete, regardless of whatever anyone else thinks. And that will make you into who you really prefer to be. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy this video. And I'll talk to you guys later. If you haven't already, could you share this on iTunes? Or not on iTunes. If you can review this on iTunes, that'd mean the world to me. Also, I have a second YouTube channel where I post the videos of these if you haven't seen it yet. It's Aaron Doughty Podcast on YouTube. You'll see it there. You can subscribe to that if you want to see the video form of it. And if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, I have the iTunes and Spotify link below. You could check it out there. And you can subscribe. It's very easy to listen to in the car, on drives, and stuff like that. I have some really cool episodes coming out soon. I can't wait to share them with you. And as always, I'll talk to you next time. Peace, much love, and namaste.